Yo, what's up? This your boy, Derek Branch here, Strike7Sports.com. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. Joined by my co-host, Brian Botta, Leo the Seaberry. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So we're just going to go right into it, start off. It's the week, the first, I would say it's the first week of NFL training camp. Actual activities begin. At the beginning, it was just the rookies that reported, but now it's everybody showing up, the veterans. A lot of veterans showed up this week, so everything kicks off. But prior to that, man, it's been a lot of NFL talk, a lot of talk about quarterbacks getting paid and things like that. I'm gonna start it off with the news of Kyler Murray getting his new contract, the next starter get paid, a record setting deal. But there's been some reports that have came out about that deal and some stipulations given into it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the column written by ESPN's Josh Weinfuss. I'm assuming he's the Arizona Cardinals beat writer for ESPN. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it real quick. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray recently signed a contract extension includes an addendum. Hope I said that right. That requires him to study film for 4 hours per week during the season to stay in compliance with the new deal. The clause is labeled independent study. God, addendum. A source who has seen the contract confirmed to ESPN that the addendum, first reported by NFL Network, is in the contract. According to the contract, Murray will need to study material provided by material provided to him by the club in order to prepare for the club's next upcoming game. Murray will receive credit for completing his film study according to the contract. However, the addendum states the time that Murray spends in mandatory meetings studying does not count, and that Murray also won't receive credit if he does not personally study the provided material in good faith. Wow. Yes, indeed. The addendum also states that Murray will not get credit if he is not studying or watching the material while it plays on his tablet, or if he is doing something that can distract him or draw his attention elsewhere while the material is playing, such as playing video games, watching TV, or browsing the internet. Man, this is crazy, man. I did not know this. Failure to meet the addendum requirements will mean Murray will be deemed in default of his contract per the wording in the agreement. The addendum kicks in this season and lasts through 2028, which is when the Cardinals can pick up a club option. Coach Coach Cliff Kingsbury, speaking Monday to reporters, said he did not have any say in the matter of the addendum. Wow. Okay. And that his main role in Murray's contract extension talks was prayer and pleading. Okay. All right, man. I'm just reading this. I know about the deal. I heard about the reports of him getting this new deal and the study hours and all that, but I didn't know it went to that extreme with it. But I'm just going to go ahead and ask y'all, would it have been better if Murray did not sign his contract at all?
I'll take this one first. I think he had to sign it because it was, think about how hard he had to work to get this contract. So ideally, you would have not had that in there, or if it had been in there, it wouldn't have been released. Like I was listening to Doug Gottlieb, and he was saying the video I put in the chat, and he was saying he made a good point. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I did make a good point about whoever let that information get out. If they find out who did it, that person's probably going to get fired. So that may be the lesson for that person. But in the end, you look at the guaranteed money. You make case the one thing he could have tried to do is get as much as Deshaun did in terms of like get fully guaranteed, but he got what he got and got this. He got basically what the market dictated. So because of that, he shouldn't be. He should be happy.
Okay. Lil, what you got to say, man?
I think that like you said, Brian, it was essential that he signed the deal. Beyond the strange requirements. I don't think his contract is actually weird at all. Like, I mean, I think this is probably in a lot of quarterbacks. There's probably in a lot of NFL contracts. It's just that the fine print normally doesn't get out like that. It's stuff like that probably in a lot of players' contracts, like little weird. I'm not talking about that specific thing that he
Yeah.
had, but little weird little quirks and stuff that's in there that they got to do a certain amount of this, certain amount of that. Probably if we looked up weird stipulations in NFL contracts, we probably see weirder stuff than that. But and it's really they're really just asking him to do his job. If you think about it, more or less just kind of working a little bit of overtime. I mean, if you really look at it on a broad scale. If you ask me what you should have signed it, of course you should have signed it. That's basically a max cut, bro. He's gonna be that guy for the next probably. He's gonna be there the rest of his career. That's his team, and you're gonna be in charge of leading that team to playoff runs and possibly Super Bowl. Think about they're hosting the Super Bowl this year in Arizona. You Arizona, while not being viewed as a team that can make the Super Bowl, like in terms to have a good roster, good enough to be in contention. So why not? Why not? It's crazy he gets that extension the same year that they host the Super Bowl. What a coincidence! But I mean, great for him, and he definitely deserved the contract.
So you don't think that? I mean, I'm hearing some people say that there's like racial overtones to this contract, that this stuff is leaked out, and it's kind of like insulting the intelligence of black quarterbacks. What do y'all think about that?
See, yes and no. Yes, because like the whole stigma black quarterbacks had to go through, and so I can see part of it that way. But someone like another thing Doug Gottlieb said that I think he made a good point that he was saying that maybe they're saying in order to get this money, we're trying to motivate you and we're trying to make sure that you're on your cues. So that's an interesting way to look at it. But if they could have explained why they did that, that would have made it better. And obviously they're not going to say the first or the former of what I said, but the latter may have something to do with it. But I was listening to First Take, and they said the point about the film, like they said something. I think that the film he's gonna have to watch will be not the film he watches with the Cardinals won't count. But if he just watches, like, he could basically probably get it done in one day if if you really think about it, or 1 hour for the every day. But the point of it, like 4 hours of film is a joke, is what the former NFL players were saying, and so that's the interesting part of it. But that's just my opinion.
Go ahead, Leo.
I think that I wouldn't say it's a racial thing because, like I said, it's just asking him to do his job. Quarterbacks watch that much film anyway. Like they're gonna be they're the guys that's in the film room, or should be the guys that are in the film room doing the most work anyway. You're the leader of the team, or that's what you're supposed to be. So I don't see it as an insult of his intelligence. Because if they were trying to insult his intelligence, they wouldn't have offered him the contract to begin with. You don't give $41 million a year or a little bit somewhere around there to a guy that you don't think is intelligent. You don't do that. So that alone in itself, I think debunks that argument, because if they didn't think he was as intelligent enough, he wouldn't be the quarterback of this team.
Okay, but why do you think it get? I want to ask y'all, why do you think the stuff got leaked out, man? That shouldn't have got leaked out, man.
I I don't know about that one.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Like I said, I don't think the Cardinals or Kyler Murray meant for it to get leaked out. And I feel like it may be someone who doesn't like Kyler Murray. That's what I'm thinking of, or wanted to just make him look bad, so they put that out there. That's the only thing that makes sense, because it doesn't make sense for either side to put that out there. And so if they find out who did it, that person's probably going to get fired. But yeah, I don't know why that got leaked out. But you make case, maybe that person also did. Why is this even in the contract? So they shouldn't have put it in the first place. It was really, really stupid of the Cardinals and Kyler Murray and his agent. Everybody who decided to do that's just a stupid decision.
I would have broke off negotiations right there, man. If I was Colin Murray, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I never heard of this before, man. For any quarterback, man. Like, what was like the last like questionable quarterback to get that type of money?
Um.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, you could say that. Or no.
He didn't get that in
Or
this deal.
Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler.
I don't
He
know
got
if
paid.
he got that much money, but I see your point. He got a questionable contract.
Yeah, that back then,
Kirk Cousins.
him getting 4 years, 72 million was big back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins.
Wouldn't say that. Oh, you talking about when he got an $84 million contract, the first fully guaranteed contract in NFL history?
Dude,
That
he's
was
getting
quick.
paid. He's getting
No.
paid. That dude.
His
He got
agent
paid,
is
man.
really,
He gets paid, man.
yeah.
But nobody never got this before, man. Like even Watson, I mean, they got identical playing styles, but Watson didn't even get this. He didn't.
You know, hey, I just thought of
Good,
this.
though.
You know what I just thought? With the Watson's contract, they should have said if you mess with any massage therapist, automatic void. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have
Oh
done.
my God,
No,
boo!
man, look, I don't know, man. I just it's still gonna be a big story like in the next few days, man. Watch.
Yeah.
I already see think pieces online right now, man. You got think piece on Yahoo right now talking about this from a racial viewpoint.
Wait, you
So
talking
look,
about Kyler?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll show it
Yeah.
to you. I'm gonna point it to you.
Yeah. I believe some of it has to do with but I mean it's kind of tough because I don't know what the type of person. We know he's a really good player, but like for example, it was just one thing, but he missed. I think he was either late for a meeting or something, and Coach went back when he was at Oklahoma, and Coach Riley sat him for a series, and then he actually ended up having one of his best games at Oklahoma. But the point is, sometimes these quarterbacks, you got to get their attention. They're sometimes a little immature and stuff, and so I really don't know. I still wouldn't have had it in my contract,
Yeah,
but I don't know. Like, let's say we're doing the negotiations, and you're like, I'm Kyler, and you're the Cardinals, and you say, oh, we're gonna give it to you, and I'm like, I don't take it, and then he's like, well, we won't give you the contract. Then what do? You know what I mean? So sometimes contracts are about give and
another
take.
contract. Walk,
So,
walk.
no, but he can't. If you get that much money, you got to take it. So I mean, and the thing
You get
is,
that money from somewhere else, man.
he would have given him that money.
You get that money somewhere else,
From who?
bro. They got a bunch of teams that would take Colin Murray, man. Ain't
Not
paying
for
him
that
that
much
much.
money, though. That's
Yes,
the
they
thing.
would. Yes,
No,
they would.
I disagree.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would, dude.
All right, give me
would.
2 teams, or give me one team that would pay him that much money.
One team, the
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers.
Look at what they just did with Deshaun Watson. They didn't give him the money he wanted, and then you think they're gonna give Kyler that much money? I don't see
Yeah,
that.
they would.
Think about Baker Mayfield had to take a pay cut, and he was only making $19 million. He had to take a pay cut for that, and I think the Browns and Panthers are paying both of it a little bit. But so I don't think, and even though that owner
The
is the
Giants.
richest one, yeah,
The Giants. They'll
I
give
think
it to
they
him.
would. I still don't. I don't want to have seen that. I still think give him a decent sized contract, or just if he had a 1-year deal, just taking all that money from when the time he got traded, but giving him all that money, I don't see it. But that's just me.
Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
I think you're on the nail with the DB. I disagree with you, Brian. If the Cardinals were backed up, if he didn't take that deal, the Cardinals would have been in a hard situation because he honestly would have got that from a lot of teams. Do you know how many teams would kick their quarterback to the curb for him? It's a lot of teams. It's some teams that are more surprising than others. So while yeah, Brian, the money is good and it's security, and a lot of NFL, like you said, we all know stands for not for long. One, God forbid, one play and his man career could be over with. So I understand why he took the money because it's security, but at the same time, I can't. Now that I think about it, it is kind of disrespectful that got that little what you were talking about in terms of having the requirements all in this contract. That little it is kind of why is it there? One of the things, but it's like why is it needed?
Yeah, like quarterbacks and did far worse than what he did than what Murray's done and got deals, man. Big time money. You know, Baker Mayfield. If Baker didn't slip up in Cleveland, he would have got that type of money.
I don't know about that.
Some in that ballpark.
Well, yeah, maybe because market, but I don't know. The thing with Cleveland is I don't know how much they would. I think they would have given him a team friendly contract, but I don't think they would have given him that much because that's just my personal opinion. But he could get a decent contract from the Panthers if he does really well, and they become desperate.
About that, I heard that so think about this: Darnold and Mayfield are both free agents at the end of this year. So if Carolina don't like what they see out of both of them and don't think they're both long term pieces, they could catapult Corral to Matt Corral. They just draft a third round pick to get a chance to be that guy in the future because wow, they really like him there because I remember I would end up watching like their when they drafted him like when they were in the room and they were like Ben McAdoo was a huge McAdoo was a big Corral fan. So I was reading an article. I forgot which website today though, but it was like one of the Carolina Panthers blogs, and it was like talking about how Corral's been even though we all are saying it's between Mayfield and Mayfield and Darnold. Corral is competing for the job. So even though nobody's really looking at him as a real serious competitor, he's competing for the starting position too. But people aren't really talking about it. But I mean, so I think Corral could be the X factor here, y'all, that nobody's really talking about. I mean, they just drafted him in the third round. I mean, they didn't. I don't think they drafted him just to be a guy who forever. I mean, he's probably gonna not play this year, but why can't he be in the long term future? And he'd be way cheaper than what you'd have to give Mayfield and Darnold.
Yeah, but he gotta I think he gotta go like above and beyond in training camp, like what Russell Wilson did when he was in Seattle. He was like a third round pick, but they signed Matt Flynn to a big time deal. Like it's a big contract they signed to, and they pretty much Wilson just pretty much took over. So I think he got to go above and beyond to get that job.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Corral, I don't know. But we'll see. I mean,
yeah.
If your boy fights for his job, I don't know if that's the right play though.
What'd you say?
If Matt Rule fighting for his job, I don't know if that's the right move to make, man.
Yeah, you talking about going to a rookie quarterback, and if that backfires, he like you were saying, Brian, like a couple pods ago, Rule could be out at mid-season. If they are really bad, he could be gone by mid-season.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it play out, man. But I think, man, Murray, man, it's just somebody did that, bro. I don't know who did it, man. Somebody leaked that information out. Somebody did that, bro. I don't know why, man. What the coincidence between the Lamar quote and this is just like something fishy going on.
Yeah. Somebody even said something about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, like with black quarterbacks. I don't know why, man, but we're gonna talk about it in the next segment, man. But yeah. I wouldn't sign it. I don't know about signing that deal, but we'll see. All right, moving right along, man. We're gonna continue this talk, and that's with Lamar Jackson. And we all know how this started. This stuff been going on since like last week. The last pod we did with Calvin Austin. This has been like an ongoing topic about Lamar Jackson being a top 10 quarterback. It's just like ESPN put this article. I don't like to go to conspiracy theories route with things, but feel like ESPN put this article out intentionally to get people roused up. You know what I mean? To get people, when you talk about Lamar, people get upset when you critique Lamar. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny how it went down because once they put the article, one of their writers put the article out, I think the entire staff had a part in that article. Darren Orlovsky is really the one that like started off where he put out a tweet that said, "Where's Lamar?" on the list, and then it was like Ryan Clark saying something, other people were saying something, and then it was just like a topic throughout the week, you know, and all kind of debate shows, radio shows, podcasts talking about it. This guy is a top 10 quarterback. This guy has won an MVP, 14-2 record. I think he had an historic season, had one of a top 10 season by NFL quarterback, given what he was working with. But the latest is that they did an article in the Athletic, and they asked anonymous defensive coordinator about what he thought about Lamar Jackson. I ain't gonna repeat what he said because the quotes out there, you know, pretty much say he don't care how many MVPs he won. He doesn't consider Lamar to be a QB1. Now, I just want to ask y'all, man. I heard from based on the reports, there is no movement, no timetable on the deal getting done with Lamar right now. So I want to ask y'all, what is the end results of this deal, the situation with Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens when it comes to his contract?
I think that personally, I think Lamar signs a contract that makes him the richest quarterback to ever. Like I think Lamar is smart. This is smart moving. Let everybody get their cheese first. Let everybody get their bread and dough first. Josh Allen got paid last year. Kyler gets paid. I know I'm missing a quarterback, um, but these young guys have gotten their cheese and everybody. Lamar's done more than anybody because at the end of the day, Lamar knows that he's gonna get his 50 million. I think they're gonna give him 50 million a year. And you think I sound crazy, but DB, all the stuff that you just named, you think they know that they don't? They know all this too. So the more the Lamar is smart. I'm not gonna lie. If Lamar played this season without a deal and they break out and have a great season, they're gonna have to unload the bank for him.
You think so?
They're gonna if they leave, if Baltimore, and we said we're gonna get to our top 15 teams in a minute, like you're talking about the times for the rankings and stuff. They're high on a lot of people's rankings this year of having a bounce back season. A lot of people say they would have made the playoffs last year had Lamar been here. So, you know, with the opportunities that they have, you know, in terms of him leading this team to, you know, far in the playoffs and a chance, I think they can make a Super Bowl run with a healthy Lamar Jackson. So if I were the Baltimore Ravens, I would have honestly already paid him. But, you know, Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal businessman. And if I'm not mistaken, does he have an agent? Or does he negotiate his own? Yeah. He does not have
an agent.
Yeah, he does not have an agent. His mom's his agent?
His mother is the agent.
Oh, his mom is the agent. What I heard. Oh, okay. So yeah, that says it for itself. You know, big family guy. So I mean, you gonna have to. They're gonna have to break the bank over for him. They're gonna pay. Trust me, they're gonna pay for waiting. Literally, they're gonna pay.
Go ahead, Brian.
This contract situation could go either two ways. He can get what he wants, or he won't get as much as he wants, but then he can help get a better supporting cast. I think the advantage of playing this year out, if he has like Joe Flacco, ironically, was in a similar situation, and he played it out, and they won the Super Bowl, and Joe Flacco was awesome in the postseason and ended up getting paid because of it. So if he's making that bet and he ends up winning on himself, then it could definitely work out. But I'm not so sure. $50 million is a lot of money. I'm not so sure he's going to get that unless if he wins the Super Bowl. That's the only way I see that. Or he gets at least to the Super Bowl. Then maybe they can consider that. But I think the ideal scenario is if he can get something starting $40 million. If he can get that, that's a win for him. But at the end of the day, it's just such a risk not playing. I would have held out if I was him, but he wants to do it his way. So let's see how it goes. But it's such a big risk.
So you would held out, took the fines.
Yeah, I would. Come on, DB. Those little fines, and I say little, I'm saying to
That
them
stuff
that's
adds up,
little.
man.
Yeah, I'm saying it's little to
Le'Veon
them.
Bell did it.
But
Le'Veon Bell did it.
yeah, but think
He was a
about
running
it's a
back.
little. Well, no, I'm not saying sit out the whole year. I'm saying I disagree with that. That was crazy. But I'm saying sit out, and the Ravens would have eventually paid close to what he wants, if not what he wanted. But she's just not that type of guy, and he's betting on himself. I just hope it works out because I'm not so sure it will.
All right, but let me ask y'all this then. Well, we see all the chatter online about how people think that Lamar is getting screwed over by not getting a new deal. Do you think that is Lamar the one that's turning down the negotiations, or is it that the Ravens? Well, or is it the Ravens that not willing to negotiate? Because I heard from one story is that the Ravens are ready to negotiate, and it's on Lamar. Why do you think people are upset?
Is that the narrative that you think the Ravens are trying to push?
Oh, I'm talking about the narrative that the people online trying to push. Like, do you know this conversation that he's getting screwed over? That they don't want to pay Lamar because of the nature of his playing style.
You gotta look at it from. I see what people are saying though. Like, I don't really know if the Ravens. I mean, I think the Ravens want to pay him, but I don't think. I think they want to pay him, but I don't. I think they're scared of what the ramifications of that could be. And like Brian said, we don't know if he will take. Do you think he's willing to take a little bit less to make a team around him better? Because we always say Baltimore don't have no linemen, don't have much risk like around him in terms of like dynamic weapons. But how can you have dynamic weapons if you eating up all the cap space?
But will they do that though?
Will he do that, or will they do that?
No, will Baltimore do that though?
Will put weapons around him?
Yes, if he takes less money, because they don't do that.
But I mean, I think what Baltimore with them is like we talk about how they kind of real frugal when it comes to spending on like on receivers and stuff like that. I think a lot of it is they want to develop from within too, though. Like a lot of you gonna think about like they know more receiver gonna be a first round pick, like Rashad Bateman from last year. He's
legit.
Huh?
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, they expected him to be their number one receiver next year, this year, and he's only a second-year player that they just got. So I just feel like building from within is they always been their motto. With J.K. Dobbins coming off his injury, there's no need to go get a big-time running back. You got a dynamic guy in Dobbins who's going to be right back from his ACL tear. You already got Mark Andrews who you built within. They drafted 2 tight ends in the draft. So one dynamic guy that's a receiver and then basically one inline guy who can catch the occasional pass. So DB, I understand how they build like now because we were talking about initially that kind of was being frugal, but at the same time they just have like Brian, you were saying in the group chat, that's just have a method and that's how they do things. It's not them being cheap, it's that if it's worked before, their method is if it's worked before, it can work now, even during different times. But DB, like you were saying, you're gonna have to eventually get them some dynamic weapons if you want to win the Super Bowl. Because you can't have while Bateman may turn into a great receiver. He wasn't there last year. I mean, a lot of injuries, but I didn't see that last year. But hopefully, I'm wrong.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say, lost my train of thought. What I wanted to say, man. They got Bateman, but you had what's his name is Marquise Brown.
Yeah,
he was a first rounder, but he bounced. You know, but I mean, I think they got to be smart about this, man, because you playing a division. Your division just got a lot tougher than what it was. Like 3 years ago, it was pretty much the Steelers and Baltimore. Now it's the Steelers, Baltimore, and the Bengals, and you got Deshaun Watson with his weapons. You didn't have that before, man. Nah, but what I really want to ask y'all is, since we said all this, where they got Bateman, they got Diamonds, why people ignore that then? Why people continue to ignore that then?
Well, I think those guys are good receivers. They're just younger guys and they feel like maybe the Ravens need a more proven guy. For example, Julio Jones just signed with the Bucks. He would have been a nice receiver. OBJ, especially before he got hurt, would have been a nice receiver. Still could be a solid
Debo
receiver.
Samuel.
Debo, yeah, some people wanted the Ravens to trade for Debo Samuel. But I was thinking about going back to what you said about people pushing the narrative about the Ravens maybe not. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for what you see, but what I've seen is basically people think he should get paid or should try to get his contract signed because of his playing style. But
But is that because of him though? Is he the one that's saying, "Hey, I don't want to get paid right now," or is it that the Ravens don't want to pay him at all right now? Don't want to
I
pay him.
don't have the insider knowledge, but my gut feeling, if I had to guess or I had to make educated guess, I'd probably think it's Lamar saying he doesn't want to negotiate and he's just focused on this season. And also, it doesn't help. I know his mother's trying, but I think he needs a real agent, especially for a contract as big as this. You need the best representation you can get, and I just don't know if that's his mother. That's just me.
What you got, Leo? What you got?
I don't see why he needs another reputation. Or his mother, if it's worked 4 years of his career, I mean that's his. I mean, of course, when moms get involved, we know women equal emotion, so
Mhm.
they're gonna be. She going. You better pay my baby right. That's how she. You know how that is. So, like Brian, you said you may need somebody who don't know Lamar. Sometimes the best people who handle your money are the people who don't know you because they have no investment into you in terms of they look at things just from facts, like facts are facts. But I I think Lamar, like I said, he's a $50 million quarterback. I would give him 5 years, 250, and I trust him that he can lead my team to Super Bowls in the future because Baltimore, the Ravens will win a Super Bowl in the next 5 to 10 years, and he's going to be the reason why, or a big reason why. So if I'm Steve Bisciotti, who's one of the best owners in the NFL, the reputation as a laid back guy who's determined to bring a winner to Baltimore. They've never been really bad under him, if you really think about it. A few lean years, but there's always been a model of consistency. So I trust Biscotti and the management to get the job done.
So you would have given him 50 million?
Of course, you would you give him 50 million? Right now, you have a yes or no decision.
I would.
You give him 50 million, he's going to another team.
I get 15 million, bro. Because I'm scared. I'm scared he go to another team like the Saints or somewhere where he got weapons and like destroy the league.
Yep. Because he never even had a DeAndre Hopkins or a AJ Green or a Zach Ertz like Kyler Murray has.
Heck, Joe Flacco had Steve Smith Sr. on his last leg.
And Quan Bolden.
Yep, and Anquan Bolden.
Yeah.
You can really say the best receiver that Lamar's played with is Mark Andrews.
Yeah, you can say that. You can. That's true.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst,
mm-hmm.
and everybody else was like running backs.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's just how Baltimore's been built, man. Ever since I've known that team, man, they've been really good at running backs, tight ends, O-line, linebackers. They just find that out of nowhere. Linebackers, pass rushers, and safeties. That's just it. Wide receivers is like, it's like Belichick, You just throw somebody out there, but we'll see how it play out, man. I think it's gonna be interesting, man. I think ultimately, he gets paid, man, because I don't see how Baltimore let this guy walk, man. That's dangerous, bro. I don't see how you let this guy walk, man. You cannot let this guy walk when you're in a division with Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, and whoever Pittsburgh gonna have, Kenny Pickett. They're gonna take care of their guy. So I think that's real dangerous, man. So I think it gets paid a bit. We'll see how everything plays out. All right. So moving right along. Next, we're gonna talk about Tom Brady and his you know, battle with Father Time. I want to ask y'all, man. Look, he's 44 years old. He coming off another MVP type season. Throw for 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns, only 12 picks. He could have won an MVP, man. I think if they would have got to the Super Bowl, he probably would have got it over Aaron Rodgers. But he decided to retire and come back. Now, Brady's defense, I don't think, in my opinion, is not as good as it was last year. Levante David getting a year older. You have Deshaun Watson, not Deshaun Watson. My bad. And Dominican Sue on the line. He's still out there. You replacing with Akeem Hicks. Golston, the other defensive lineman, he's a little older. Gronk is not there anymore. You got replacing with Kyle Rudolph. We signed Julio Jones, but we don't know if that's the Julio of old. And I mean, do y'all think this could be the year that part of time Miss Brady?
I'll take this one. No, I don't think so because I think he could retire after this year, mainly because he said I'm going to play until 45. He's kind of changing. Maybe say I think he said he may play until 50 now. I'm not so sure about that, but I think the way the game's played, the way he plays, I think he'll just find a way to be efficient. Will he be as good as maybe he once was? No, but I don't think he has to. He has better players around him than probably he's ever had. And so his job as a quarterback is just give the ball to your athletes in space and let them do the work. He has a solid system around him, and Tom Brady is the GOAT for a reason. So that's the way I look at it.
Father Time has no effect on Tom Brady. He's different. He's built different. This guy is a superhuman when it comes to football wise. I mean, this guy, heck, he eats vegan ice cream. He who does that? Like this guy trains his body, puts his body, in terms of the best physically, durable player we probably have ever seen, aside from 2008. When has he really missed extended time? And besides that weren't suspension related. So you have to think about that. This guy, DB, I can't ever say Brady is going to catch up to Father Time because Father Time was supposed to have caught Tom Brady 4 years ago. Supposed to have caught him 3 years ago. Supposed to have caught him 2 years ago. Supposed to have caught him last year. It's supposed to catch him this year. So when I cannot, like some people, like it's kind of like LeBron James. Tom Brady and LeBron James are cool for a reason. They kind of like each other. It seems like as the league gets, the league does this thing, they keep on doing their thing. They don't. Their surroundings don't affect them. Tom Brady, he's gonna play till he could play realistically. He could play till he's 50. And still put up the same amount of yards. He could be passing with 4,500 yards at age 50 and still throwing the Mike Evans and throwing the Chris Godwin. And yes, I would say that because y'all haven't seen it, but the oldest quarterback I think to play ever was George Blanda at 48. So if he has a few more years to catch, he could catch George Blanda. He could definitely see him playing until he's 46, at least 47. If we're gonna be serious though.
But bruh, I hear you, man. But once it comes, man,
not to interrupt you, sir, but you don't have to hear me. You can see, you saw it. You don't have to hear me. You saw it last year. You just read this man's numbers. That man had an MVP caliber season and didn't win MVP. That's how, and he's 45 years of age. That you just said it yourself. He had an MVP season at 45. What does that tell you?
I mean, yeah, man, but once it comes, man, it's there, and it comes fast. Look at Peyton Manning. What saved Peyton Manning? The defense. Do Tampa Bay has that?
Yeah, I still think that was a solid defense. Is it what it once was? Probably not, but their defense is pretty solid. And I mean, I like the running game they have. I think the Bucks and also the NFC isn't that deep. The two teams that I feel like are the teams to beat instead of the Bucks are the Packers and the Rams, and I don't even think the Packers will be the same without Devontae Adams. So it's really, to me, the Rams are your biggest, the team standing your way from you getting into the Super Bowl.
Okay. What do you think?
I do think that because I have the Rams, I made a small smidgen wager, and I do think the Rams are going back to the Super Bowl, but I think it'll be Rams versus Buccaneers in the NFC title game. I think that the Bucks, having signed Julio Jones, DB, gives you 3 receivers that can get 1,000 yards. Julio Jones, he went to the biggest. He can get 1,000 yards. You remember when Randy Moss went to Oakland? He went to the black hole and he got sucked up in the black hole. Julio Jones, if you want to keep honest with you go from playing with no disrespect to Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's no Tom Brady. You go from Ryan Tannehill to Tom Brady. You're gonna start playing better. We thought Randy Moss. I think Randy Moss caught 10 touchdowns combined in Oakland his 2 years. He caught 23 his first year in New England. That should tell you something right there.
He ain't gonna do that, bro.
I'm not saying 20. I didn't say 23. But would you be surprised if Julio gave you 900 yards and 8 or 9 touchdowns? Would you be surprised by that?
Touchdowns, no. Yards, yes. And also, you got to consider when you're talking about Randy Moss was in his prime. Julio Jones is past his prime.
Randy Moss was not in his prime.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was.
His prime was with the Vikings, and y'all know that.
That was when he was first started. What are you talking about?
He played Randy.
You can't even tell your history. We can't have this discussion.
First of all, how could a man be in his? This man had played. You could say he had his best season with the Patriots, but he was not in his prime. People thought he was done after Oakland. People thought he was done. You know what we gave up to get him? We gave up a 4th round. I think it was a 3rd or 4th round pick. We gave him away pretty much because we thought he was done. The whole league thought he was done, except the Patriots, and they just have a good. Come on now, you know that DB. You could say at the time when the Raiders made that trade, did people think Randy Moss still had anything left?
Sure, I did. Once he went to New England, I'm like, here we go.
You like this guy they got a top receiver for pretty much nothing.
Yeah. His prime was over when he went to the 49ers, man. That's what I think.
He went play in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he went to the 49ers. He was done.
Yeah.
Moss was done.
Yeah, but back to
hold on. I was just saying, I forgot he played for the Titans for a little bit.
Yeah, he was done by then.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, I think Julio can give. Like I said, I expect at least 900 yards. Okay, let's say 750 yards and 6 or 7 touchdowns. And keep in mind, Chris Godwin not gonna be 100%, so Julio might step in and be that 2 right away. Think about that, because Godwin's still recovering from the ACL tear, so somebody has to come in and step. Those are catches waiting for him to happen, right there. No OJ Howard this year because he moved on to free agency. You don't have what's his name?
Gronk.
No Gronk, yeah. So that's going to open up a lot of targets right there, So, even though they did I think they drafted a tight end in the 2nd round, but he's a rookie, so he's going to have to take time to develop. It's really going to be Julio. He has a chance to behind Mike Evans to seize that number 2 position, but while Godwin's gone. But I'm not gonna lie, that's a really tall receiving core. If you think about it, I feel bad for opposing secondaries because you think about it, you got Mike Evans, I think is 6'4", Julio is 6'3", 6'4". You have Chris Godwin, I think is 6'2", 6'3". So that's really a really lanky receiving core. So good luck for whoever had to go against it, including your Saints 2 times this season, sir.
We do good against them. We match up perfectly against them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, y'all have the most physical corners probably in the National Football League.
No, man. But look, if he does fall off, I think they still could make the playoffs, man. Even if he'll make the playoffs, man. I mean, they're gonna start to rely on that running game if he does. But you never know, man. When 40 time comes, man, it comes fast, man. Ask Drew Brees, man.
Yeah.
I was in denial about it until I actually saw till 2020. It's like, yo, man, he's done, man. Peyton Manning too. Once it's there, it's there. And Peyton Manning sucked. For real. He had
Yeah.
Demaryius Thomas. He had good weapons.
Yep. 9 touchdowns, 16 picks his last season in the league.
Terrible, man.
I said
So
without
when it
Brock
comes,
Osweiler, they're not in the Super Bowl without Brock Osweiler, which is why the Texans saw that slim glimmer of talent that he had, and said, you know
yeah,
what, maybe he can do this with us.
yeah. Was this before DeAndre Hopkins?
No, Hopkins this was 2017 when he got 2016-17 when he got that contract. Hopkins was there.
And after that, they went and got Watson, right?
Yeah, after that season they drafted Watson.
Man, that was crazy how they messed that up there, man.
But they did make the playoffs with Osweiler, though. They made the playoffs.
Yeah.
They got blown up by the Chiefs.
Yeah, blown away by the Chiefs, man. Blown away. But
yeah, man. But I think if he comes, I won't be surprised if it does, man. If he falls off, I won't be, man. I really don't. It happens to everyone, man.
Yeah.
Every athlete deals with it, man. Kareem dealt with it. Jordan dealt with it. Kobe. It happens, bro. I don't care how old you is. You know? Because you can't, I just think, man, you just can't be. You play a game like football, bro. Like, I don't even know basketball players that played at that level, that high level at that age, man. I don't know no basketball players in their 40s. Go ahead.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Basketball, you have to play, or at least attempt to play defense and offense. Tom Brady, all he has to do is worry about offense. And he doesn't, all he has to do is legit throw the ball to one of these athletes or hand it up and let them do the work. So that's why, even if he falls off, it won't be that much. Yeah, you may be looking at me crazy, Leah, but you know I'm right.
Yeah. You just made sense. You just made sounding like playing like it. You just made it seem like being an NFL quarterback is just the simplest job in the world. Like, it's way more than that. Come on now, Brian. That's a weak take on your part, and you're better than that.
No, but I'm saying how much of an athlete you have to be to play the position. You don't have to be a great athlete. You know that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No,
In
you
today's
don't.
league,
Tom Brady can move, actually.
Yeah, but I'm talking about I'm trying to think. He's like a LeBron James. You don't have to be that type of athlete to be a good quarterback. But to be a big-time player in the NBA, it helps if you have a lot of athleticism. Unless if you have a skill like a Steph Curry, then that's how you can be effective. But I don't think you have to be a great athlete to be a great quarterback. Like, Aaron Rodgers may be a better athlete than Tom Brady, but I don't think he's a great athlete.
Okay.
I'll disagree, man. I think the way defensive ends now, the way defensive tackles are built now, linebackers, these guys, like a defensive tackle could be an edge now, certainly like Aaron Donald. And I think it always helps to have mobility now in today's league, bro. You gotta be able to throw on the run. You can't be like a Dan Marino and just sit back there and throw bullets, man. You just can't.
Mm-mm.
You just can't. So I think you gotta be athletic to be a quarterback now, man. Like a Josh Allen. Because if not, you're in trouble, especially with the battle line. So it can happen. It may not happen, but we'll see, man. I think they'll play out team though, even if he does look bad. So we'll see. All right, man. Moving right along, we're gonna talk about next power rankings. Our early top 15 power rankings for right now. And I'm gonna just start mine off with my top 15, my early top 15 power rankings is Rams number 1, Buffalo Bills number 2, Kansas City Chiefs number 3, Cincinnati Bengals number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers number 5, Green Bay Packers number 6. 7, I got the LA Chargers. 8, Denver Broncos. Number 9, Your Las Vegas Raiders, Leo. Number 10, the New Orleans Saints. 11, the Minnesota Vikings. 12, the Philadelphia Eagles. 13, the Indianapolis Colts. 14, the Baltimore Ravens. And 15, the San Francisco 49ers. That's my top 15. And right now, I have to say it. Well, yeah, I am going to say it, but my projected Super Bowl teams are the Buffalo Bills and the LA Rams. That's it.
So you think week one matchup will equal the final game of the year matchup as well? That's what you're saying.
Yes. I think the Bills going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I can respect that. Brian, I want to hear your takes first before I go in.
Yeah, I didn't really get too creative off of this. I'm just gonna take ESPN's power rankings because this is
Come on, man.
now
Come
the
on,
reason
bro.
why. The reason why, look, there's so much that can still happen. Like, who would have thought Julio would sign with the Bucks? I don't think it's a great signing, but it's a solid, and it has the if he ends up having a solid impact, it could give them a different dimension and potentially help them get to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I got the Bills number one, the Chiefs number two. Really, they have it.
They got the Chiefs number 2?
Yeah. The
All
Packers
right.
3, Rams 3, or tied with the Packers for 3. The Chargers 5, that's really high. The Bengals 6, the Ravens 7, the Bucks 8, the Colts 9, the Browns 10, 49ers 10, the Broncos 12, 13 are the Patriots, 14 are the Steelers, and 15 are the Eagles. Yeah, now looking back, I'm not sure if I agree with a lot of that, but that's fine for now. There's still a lot of moves that can still happen, so maybe close to the season I can give you a better list. But my Super Bowl for right now, I'll say a rematch from a few years ago, the Bucks versus the Chiefs. That's how I look at it. Like, the Chiefs, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they are offensively, because obviously they won't have that speed threat and Tyreek Hill and the power. Like, everyone talks about how Tyreek Hill is really fast, but he's really thick, and so he's not your typical receiver, and so that dimension hurts them in a way, but it also helps them because they can be more creative, and defenses, like, you can play deep against them, but it's not like you have that to worry about that threat. So you can get more creative as a defense, but also helps the Chiefs because they're not as predictable as they once were. And then the Bucks, I'm really excited to see what Todd Bowles can do. I know Todd Bowles, even though he has an old quarterback, he finally has a really good quarterback. So I think he could do a solid job with them. Defense will be interesting because he's going to be the head coach and the defensive coordinator. He'll still call the plays. So I want to see how he's able to handle that or those responsibilities. But as long as you have Tom Brady in the NFC, I like the Bucks to come out of the NFC. But one thing caveat I add, I think they need to host that NFC title game if they're playing the Rams. The Packers, I think they can beat on the road, but I'm not sure if they can beat the Rams on the road.
My top 15. Number 1, I have the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, Los Angeles Rams. Number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, Green Bay Packers. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 6, Baltimore Ravens. Number 7, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 8, 49ers. Number 9, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 10, the Denver Broncos. Number 11, the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 12, the Dallas Cowboys. Number 13, Tennessee Titans. Number 14, the Arizona Cardinals. And number 15, the Philadelphia Eagles. My Super Bowl prediction as of this moment, I want to step out on a limb and say I want to pick a surprise team. I'm going to go, ooh, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to go against the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl.
That was an ugly game last time. He lit him up, man. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel that Lamar's gonna have a lot to prove this year, and even though he's elite, I feel like he's gonna play with a humongous, gigantic chip on his shoulder, and I feel like the negativity and is he worth it? Is he worth that? Is gonna fuel a fire in him that we have not seen in so long in these quarterbacks. So a lot of these quarterbacks are just giving everything. Like Lamar's not giving it. This guy's done more than. If you really want to think about it, Lamar Jackson has done more than Kirk Cousins. But we're still arguing if Lamar Jackson is worth so and such and such and such. But we didn't. Nobody should. The Vikings thought Kirk Cousins was worth a fully guaranteed contract. If Lamar Jackson got a fully guaranteed $200 and some million contract, I wouldn't even question it because this guy's. I just had that much faith in Lamar. Of course, I think the Raiders, honestly, realistically, not just my fandom, but I really do think the Raiders can make the Super Bowl too, though. If we want to keep it all, if you want to be serious about it, I think the Raiders can go because I feel like if the Raiders make the playoffs, which I think they will, after going through that gauntlet of division, easily, I think that division can have all 4 teams make it. If you want to, I think all 4 teams can get in. It's a possibility, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. But it would be crazy. But we know every team. I don't think a team in that division is going to finish with a record under 500. I don't think it's going to happen. And
Who you think gets left out?
What you say?
Which team you think gets left out?
You
Somebody, the AFC West. Somebody ain't gonna make it, man. I just think.
I think all 4 can make it, but if somebody were to get left out, I'd say the usual suspect, Denver Broncos.
Whoa.
The Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, don't disrespect my team. We don't play there no more.
One question I was thinking about with Lamar Jackson, let's say he got that contract, that 5-year, $250 million contract. How much of that would be guaranteed?
175 if I were them.
All right. I've heard that a lot of something like that. That wouldn't be bad. But if I'm these quarterbacks, I'll be trying to get that Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed money. I'm still surprised the Browns did that. But they were desperate, and desperate times calls for desperate measures.
I have a question, y'all. I'm going to interject on y'all topic. Do y'all think the Browns going to regret trading Baker Mayfield if the Deshaun stuff don't work out?
Maybe.
No.
I would say maybe this year. But overall, if Deshaun is anything close to what he once was, then no.
Oh, okay. Because people are saying that, like, why did like Deshaun, like the Browns is not one in my top 15 teams. I noticed they weren't in. I don't think they were in either of y'all's, were they?
Actually, they were. They were. But I didn't agree with it.
I didn't mind.
And it's simply because of Deshaun Watson, right? His availability certain status. Because you would you have had him maybe not your top 10, but just outside your top 10. And I had number 12 literally waiting right there. That was gonna be Cleveland Browns. But we just don't know what Deshaun's gonna bring. But like I think honestly, had they killed Baker, like number one, they'd be in my top 15 teams. Because I think that team is built to win. Even with Baker's inconsistencies at times, he's good enough to have led them to the playoffs. And honestly, what if the Browns, we know it'd be ironic. What if the Browns get Deshaun Watson and then they don't even make the playoffs and then Baker starts for the Panthers and they get in the playoffs? You know how crazy that would be?
Yes and no. Deshaun Watson missed part of the season. So you got to – if he played the whole season, then I agree. But that's the important caveat there.
We don't even know where he's going to miss any games. Well, he knows he's going to miss some games, but we don't know
how many missing some games.
We don't know how many because some people said 3 to 4 games. I've heard 6 to
8. Some people said 2.
Two games. Now he gonna get more than that. I say 4 games is sufficient. He ain't committed a crime. For a guy that ain't committed a crime, he's definitely.
He still get it, man. He still get it, man.
Did y'all see that snippet of his grand jury testimony?
No.
It was like a snippet they went around. They were talking about how like Deshaun, Mr. Watson, did you know what you were doing when you went into he said when they went into the massage parlors and then they were like with the Texans and they were like he was saying I have a girlfriend, I don't want to comment on it. He said, "How did?" And then the prosecutor was one of the people like, "What does you having a girlfriend have to do with the ability you to answer this question?" He said, "I invoke the right to the Fifth Amendment. I refuse to answer it." I'm like, "My goodness, Deshaun!" It made him look real bad. I'll send the clip in the group chat, but hopefully he got out of there. He got out of there as best as he could, honestly, legally wise. But from an NFL standpoint, like you all said, he's gonna miss some games.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I think, man, it's gonna be the Bills, bro. I think the Bills gonna break the. I think there's a chance that they break the drought, man. The end of the drought. They think I believe the Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls, lost all 4 of them. This could be the year they break the drought, bro. This could be the year. Um, I think it's gonna be a good game. Good game to open up the season. Bills and Rams, good game. We'll get to tell us. I mean, we'll get to see a lot of what of how Josh Allen is against the Rams defense. So we'll see. But that's my top 15, man. One last thing I want to ask y'all, man. Is another Lamar question. It's a comparison. A swap, QB swap. You put Lamar with the Chargers, and you put Justin Herbert with the Ravens. What are the Ravens? Better or worse?
They're probably worse, but let me explain why. That's just my personal opinion. The Ravens, everything they do is basically based on what Lamar Jackson, his strengths. And so if you put a guy like Herbert, even though Herbert can run a little bit, that's not his strength. But he's a much better overall player than Lamar Jackson. That's just the way I look at it. So if you put the Chargers system or something, then he's going to look good, but he doesn't have the weapons in LA in LA that he would have in Baltimore. So I would say that would be worse, but only because of the system that the Ravens have.
What do you think, Leo?
I said Lamar would be better because my goodness, if you gave him Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and
Hunter Hit, Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler, they got a guy named 6'7" tight end, real young guy, Donald Farr. He's gonna be if you gave him a 6'7" guy that he could play jump ball with, and my goodness, he'd be unstoppable. He's already unstoppable with a bare minimum. Give him something that he can work with, and my goodness, watch him work. Lamar is one of those guys where, and that's what people like about Lamar. Lamar just done a lot with a lot less than a lot of these other MVP quarterbacks have had. Like Mahomes, if you gave Lamar Jackson, they tried to give him a miniature version of Tyreek Hill with Marquise Brown, and they didn't even keep him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They tried to give him their version of Tyreek Hill, and Marquise I think Marquise is going to be really good, but I don't know why the Ravens traded him. But that's neither here nor there. I feel like they needed to have added some more speed to that receiver room, and they didn't. But like I said, we talked about earlier, we know that the Ravens are built a certain way for a reason, and if it's led you to winning seasons after winning seasons and it's been consistent, the model, why stop it?
That's true. You got anything else to add, Brian?
No, like I said, I agree with. I don't know. Did you give your thoughts on who would be better? I didn't know if you said it. I may have missed it.
I mean, I think Lamar will be better, man. But Herbert, man, should be able to work in Baltimore, man. His arm, Bateman, I think Bateman's legit, man. Legit. I think he's he's on a lot of people's list for a breakout season. Rashad Bateman. He came on strong towards the end of the year, man. He had a little better with dealing with his injuries, start the season. But I think Baltimore's gonna be fine, man. They may win the division, might not win the division, but we'll see. But I think it may be. I think they're one of my playoff teams, man. Both Bengals and Ravens are one of my playoff teams out of the AFC. But I think Lamar will be better than LA. San Diego. I said San Diego, LA, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised. It would be shocking to see what Herbert do well with the Ravens weapons because they're really not that bad. But I just think that you know, dude will get paid eventually, bro. You don't really get it paid, man. Cause you let that guy walk. Like I said, you let him walk, man. I just think somebody need to get fired, bro. This dude walk, bro.
Bro, fired?
Huh?
Yeah.
Fired?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody need to get fired.
My goodness. Yeah, y'all are right. He should not be. Lamar Jackson should be the last person they let walk out that door. They need to let so many other people walk out the door before him. Trust me. Y'all are right. But I'm just saying, I mean, like you said, DB, if they offer, if I ain't gonna lie, if I was Lamar and they offer me anything less than a certain amount, I wouldn't want to play there at all.
No, I wouldn't either. At all, man. Go ahead.
The one thing I'll say about the situation, I think we got to be careful that after the season, if he doesn't, they don't agree to a contract, they'll just franchise him. Kind of do what they did with that. So I feel like they would never let him reach his free agency and they lose him for nothing. They would trade him. That's I think when you say lose him, like lose it, like trade him away. I don't think they would just let him walk for nothing. That's the way I look at it.
So you think he would get the tag? That tag gonna be like what, 35 million?
Yeah.
That's expensive.
You remember how Kirk Cousins he got tagged 2 or 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
That was paid. That's some good money.
He was getting I ain't gonna lie, I would have took the 1-year deal. He was getting like 30 plus million. I'm like, bro,
35 million.
And he started when he first got it, it was at 20 something. And then like 2 years later, he was at 30. I'm like, Washington, my goodness, do y'all want to keep this guy long term or not? But I don't think Baltimore, keep in mind, Baltimore is very frugal with their money. So I don't think they would just give him a long term deal before you trying to, because the franchise tag gonna be 45 some million now. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they work something out, man. That'd be better to pay him instead of tagging him, man. If they tag him, people could be mad. If they pay him a certain amount, people could be mad about that. So be mad regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, please.
You give him too much, too less franchise tag, people would be complaining, man. It's just funny, man. I just think it was just conspiracy to me, man. The way it got people roused up about it, but we'll see, man. All right, that's all we have for y'all for right now, man. Give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let us know how you feel in the comment section below on YouTube. Also listen to us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you listen to your podcast at. Also give us a 5-star rating and give us a review, a positive review. That's all we have for y'all for right now. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a guest. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.